Hey folks, today we're getting into the not-so-glamorous side of sailing, stuff that breaks, and believe me, it will break. No matter how well you prep, boats have a way of testing your patience and your toolkit. So here are 10 things that break most often on a sailboat, based on what I've seen, what I've fixed, and what I've cursed at under my breath. Let's get into it. Rigging is under constant load and exposure, making it one of the most failure-prone parts of a sailboat. Standing rigging, your shrouds and stays, can develop fatigue cracks, corrosion, or broken strands, especially where wires meet fittings. Even stainless steel has a lifespan, and it hides damage well until the moment it gives out. Running rigging, halyards, sheets, reefing lines faces a different kind of wear. UV rays, friction through blocks, salt buildup, and repeated tension all wear down the fibers. Chafing is a silent killer, often happening in spots you rarely see until there's a full break during a maneuver. Routine checks are critical. Look for rust at terminals, kinks in wire, or any fraying in lines. Flex your cables to see hidden cracks. Replace aging components on a schedule, not just when they fail. If anything feels off, like too much stretch or odd tension, inspect it before heading offshore. Lubricate sheaves and inspect chain plates too, since they're common failure points. Keeping a log of rigging age and condition helps stay ahead of problems. A solid rig means better performance and safety. When it comes to rigging, a bit of prevention goes a long way. Sails are constantly exposed to sun, salt, and wind, making them highly susceptible to wear and tear. Even with quality materials, UV damage breaks down fibers over time, especially along leech and foot edges. Without proper protection, roller furling head sails degrade quickly. Batten pockets, corner reinforcements, and reefing points are also high-stress zones that often fail first. Sail shape changes gradually as fabric stretches, which affects performance. Seams may pop from repeated strain or poor stitching, while tears can start small and expand rapidly if not addressed early. Loose threads, worn stitching, or fraying edges are all signs that maintenance is due. Cleaning sails with fresh water, drying them completely, and storing them properly helps prolong their life. Use sail covers and UV strips whenever possible. During passages, check for flapping or strange creases. These can signal developing issues. Getting minor repairs done promptly can prevent expensive replacements. For full-time cruisers, sails may last 5 to 8 years, depending on usage and climate. Keeping them trimmed correctly and avoiding flogging in light air can reduce wear. Well-maintained sails not only last longer but keep the boat balanced and efficient underway. Marine electronics are incredibly useful but notoriously vulnerable to the harsh environment aboard. Salt air, moisture, vibration, and power fluctuations all contribute to frequent failures. Common problem areas include GPS units, chart plotters, radar, depth sounders, autopilots, and wind instruments. Often, these systems fail at the worst times, during heavy weather or tight navigation. Wiring issues cause many electronic problems. Corroded terminals, loose connections, or improperly sealed wires allow moisture to infiltrate and short components. Even a small amount of water ingress can ruin a display or sensor. Poor installation practices, like using household connectors or skipping waterproofing steps, make things worse. Preventative care is key. Use tinned marine-grade wire, heat-shrink connectors, and sealant on all cable penetrations. Keep electronics covered when not in use, and avoid unnecessary exposure. Regularly inspect connections for corrosion or looseness, and test systems before every trip. Backups are smart. Carry a handheld GPS, a paper chart, and know how to navigate without screens. Software updates can also fix bugs or improve performance. In short, treat marine electronics with extra care and don't trust them blindly. They're tools, not infallible. Redundancy and maintenance are your best defenses. The bilge pump is your first line of defense against water intrusion, and when it fails, the consequences can be serious. These pumps work in a damp, dirty environment, often filled with oil, food particles, hair, and other debris that can clog intakes or float switches. Both automatic and manual pumps are prone to wear and failure if not maintained. Electric bilge pumps can burn out from running dry or staying clogged. Float switches may stick or corrode, leaving the pump inactive when water starts to rise. Wiring in the bilge is constantly exposed to moisture, which leads to corroded connectors and electrical shorts over time. Maintenance means keeping the bilge clean, checking for debris, free and testing the system regularly. Pour water into the bilge to see if the pump activates and clears it efficiently. Listen for unusual sounds like straining or humming, signs of a pump in trouble. Carry spare pumps, extra fuses, and even a backup float switch. Manual pumps are essential backups and should be easy to access and operate. Make sure all crew members know how to use them. Keeping your bilge pump reliable ensures peace of mind and adds a layer of safety that's easy to overlook. The head is one of the most failure-prone and unpleasant systems to deal with on a sailboat. Whether manual or electric, marine toilets use pumps, valves, and seals that wear out quickly in the marine environment. Salt buildup, waste material, and toilet paper can all contribute to blockages, leaks, or foul odors. Joker valves, those small rubber flaps that prevent backflow, are common failure points. Over time, they stiffen and allow waste to return into the bowl. Seals around pumps dry out or crack, leading to hard pumping, leaks, or total loss of suction. Hoses can calcify on the inside, shrinking flow and creating pressure points that lead to clogs. Routine care helps prevent issues. Use only marine-safe toilet paper, flush with plenty of water, and regularly rinse the system with a vinegar solution to combat buildup. Rebuild kits for pumps and valves should be on hand, especially for long passages. Regularly inspect and replace old hoses to keep the system flowing properly. A functioning head is a comfort and a necessity, especially when far from shore. Keep it maintained, and you avoid some of the messiest, most frustrating problems on a boat. It's one system where a little upkeep goes a long way. Water pumps handle your freshwater system, and they're one of the most overlooked failure points aboard. These pumps pressurize your sink, shower, and sometimes even head systems. The most common problems include worn-out diaphragms, failed pressure switches, clogged filters, and broken impellers. Leaks in the plumbing can also cause pumps to cycle endlessly, wearing them out faster. If the pump sounds like it's running but no water comes out, it's likely airlocked, has a clogged line, or the pump itself has failed internally. Preventative maintenance includes cleaning or replacing filters, checking for leaks in hose fittings, and inspecting the pump regularly for corrosion or cracks. Use only marine-grade hoses and clamps to avoid burst lines or fittings under pressure. Keep a spare pump, or at least a rebuild kit, on board. If the water system goes down, it's not just an inconvenience. It affects cooking, cleaning, and basic sanitation. A working pump keeps life aboard comfortable and healthy, so don't ignore it until it stops working entirely. Your engine is a workhorse, but it's also a sensitive system that can break down in several ways. Common issues include clogged fuel filters, overheating from raw water impeller failure, corroded electrical connections, and battery charging problems. Fuel systems are especially vulnerable. Bad fuel or water contamination can clog injectors and stall the engine. Cooling issues often trace back to worn-out impellers, clogged strainers, or broken belts. If the engine is running hot or not starting reliably, those are early warning signs. Regular checks include inspecting the oil, belts, coolant level, fuel filters, and looking for leaks or corrosion. Run the engine under load often, not just at idle, so you catch problems before they show up when you really need power, like docking or crossing a channel. Spare parts are essential. Belts, filters, impellers, oil, and coolant should be on hand. An engine failure at the wrong time can mean more than inconvenience. It can become a safety issue. Keep it maintained, and it'll keep you moving. Steering gear is one of the most mission-critical systems on board, and also one that often gets neglected. Cables, pulleys, autopilot drives, and even hydraulic steering systems all wear down with time and use. Cable stretch, seized pulleys, worn bushings, or broken quadrant fasteners are common failure points. One of the main issues is corrosion, especially around the rudder post, linkages, and inside pedestal units. A small amount of play or stiffness can be the early sign of a bigger issue. If your wheel feels loose, sloppy, or unusually tight, don't ignore it. For cable steering, inspect for frayed wires, worn sheaves, and proper tension. Lubricate moving parts and tighten anything that seems loose. Hydraulic systems need their fluid topped off and bled for air bubbles. Check for leaks in the hoses or pump. Manual backups like an emergency tiller should be tested periodically, not just stored somewhere out of reach. Losing steering can be catastrophic, especially in tight quarters or rough weather. Make it part of your routine to inspect the system, and it'll repay you with reliability when it counts most. Seacocks control the flow of water through the hull, so when they fail, you're dealing with a potentially dangerous situation. Made of bronze, plastic, or composite, they can seize up, corrode, or even crack if exposed to freezing temperatures or lack of use. A stuck seacock can stop you from closing a leaking intake. Worse, a cracked or broken one can allow water to flood in unchecked. Marine growth, salt buildup, and old lubricant are the usual culprits for stiff or frozen valves. Every few weeks, it's smart to open and close each seacock to keep them moving freely. Lubricate them with appropriate marine grease. If a handle feels stiff or won't move, it's time to investigate. Don't force it. Take it apart and clean it. In colder climates, winterizing is crucial. If water's left inside and freezes, it can split the fitting. Always have bungs or wooden plugs nearby for every through hull. A small leak can turn serious fast. Keeping your seacocks working properly isn't just maintenance, it's safety. They're one of the few parts on your boat that stand between you and the sea. Canvas items like dodgers, biminis, sail covers, and cockpit enclosures often wear out quickly due to their exposure to the elements. Sun, wind, salt spray, and constant flexing can break down fabric, stitching, and zippers. Even the best marine-grade canvas has a lifespan, especially in UV-heavy environments. Stitching is usually the first to go. UV rays weaken thread, leading to seams unraveling even while the fabric still looks fine. Zippers corrode or jam from salt buildup, and plastic windows get cloudy or crack over time. To prolong canvas life, rinse it with fresh water regularly and let it dry before storing. Use UV protective sprays and avoid folding it sharply, which can cause cracks. Check for loose threads, worn spots, and broken zippers before they become bigger problems. Proper storage when not in use is key. If canvas items are left up year-round, they degrade much faster. When they fail, replacements are costly and time-consuming to get made. A little upkeep keeps the cockpit protected, the sails covered, and your gear shaded, making life aboard more comfortable and a lot more functional. So there you have it. 10 of the most common things that break on a sailboat. It's not always glamorous, but it's part of the deal when you choose this life. Boats are like floating puzzles held together by rope, metal, and a little bit of faith. Things wear out, parts fail, and systems give up. But with regular care, a good set of tools, and a sharp eye, most of these problems can be spotted and handled before they turn into big messes. Sailing isn't about perfection, it's about preparation. The more you understand your boat and its weak spots, the more confident and safe you'll feel out on the water. It's not just about keeping everything running, it's about knowing what to expect, how to respond, and having the right backup plan. Thanks for sailing along with me today. If you've got your own list of boat gremlins or a favorite tip to keep things running smooth, drop it in the comments. I'm always learning from fellow sailors. Until next time, fair winds, fewer breakdowns, and may your next fix be a small one. See you out there.